Hello once again, this is Jojie M, the Messiah OG. I'm putting together a video to show you another build of mine. Currently, the build that my old setup, we have a Coolmaster half a 922. A great case, by the way. Nothing new, you know. It's not that I am, changing to another case because this is a bad case. It's not. That's not the case. No pun intended. It's a great case. It has two 220s. One on the side. Actually has three back. 220 millimeter fan in the front. Cold air induction from the front. 220 on the side right here, and a 220 at the top. Okay, so, and also it comes with a 120 millimeter fan exhausted in the back as well. So great case, awesome case. It's just that I just have to move on. Anytime I do a build, I just have to change everything. So that starts with the basis of it. That's the foundation, and the foundation is the case. So currently we have a Asus P6T Deluxe motherboard. My CPU is an Intel Core i7-920. My memory is a Corsair Vengeance 24GB triple channel DDR3 1600. I have two EVGA GTX 260s. Those are kind of old, especially with how I do my upgrades. I kind of upgrade every year, every 2 years. But I love those GPUs, so that's why I kept them that long. And my Corsair TX750W PSU, and I'm keeping that as well. And I have about 4 hard drives in there. I was running RAID 0. I had two 300GB hard drives and two 1TB hard drives that are in there. So swapping them out and put them in here. I have chosen Corsair, the Corsair 650D. This is a beautiful case. So the fans that are currently on here before my changes are, we have a 220 millimeter fan. The front, cold air goes through the case. I don't want to miss out on the aluminum face right here. The case is made of steel and aluminum front. This also has a great feature that I love. Is the grill is easily accessible. You can take it out, and they have some kind of fine mesh to prevent any dust that goes in. So to prevent dust going into your components. This dust is the enemy, worst enemy of computer components, any electrical components. Turn on the light. I got the case with the what I love about this case is, first of all, it's a beautiful build. Okay, let me turn it to the side so you guys can see it better. Beautiful build. Corsair makes wonderful, awesome cases. They're just awesome made. Everything that goes with Corsair, what they put together is really top notch, high quality stuff. So in here we have all these cutouts with grommets, these rubber grommets. This is the only case, one of the cases that I've owned that has a lot of these cutouts. It's basically for cable management, and also the cutout for the rear, so you can have access to the rear of the motherboard, is huge compared to the half 922. The point of having access to the motherboard is if you have any aftermarket heat sinks that are huge, and you need access in the back to put additional bracket or support to support the weight of the heat sink. Also, with water cooling, you got these water blocks that are, pure. That are heavy or pure copper or whatever, and they need extra support, and they need to be held in place. So that's why there's need to access the rear of the motherboard. So this case comes with 120 millimeter fan, the exhaust in the back, 220 fan right there, and again in the front. This has a total of about 10 bays. So you have 6 for the traditional 3.5 mechanical hard drives, as well as for the newer hard drives, you have these holes right here for the SSD, the SSD hard drives. Those are the solid state hard drives, no mechanical gears in there. It makes the information, they're sort of like memory modules, but the ROM memory modules, they store information once the computer's off. Unlike the DDR memories, the ROMs, they're just read-only. Nothing stays in there. Oh, I take that back. RAM, random access memory. They store them in the RAM until the computer shut off and all the information is wiped out. Anyway, so we have a 5 1/4, 5 1/4 bays, 4 CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays, and so everything's flush here, so you can see. It's beautiful case. You have to see this up front, and you got a power and reset, and then you got this little hidden compartment, and that's for the you have 2 USBs, USB 3.0 mic and 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, 2 traditional USB inputs, and Firewire, which I'm not going to be using. My only gripe that with this case is that Corsair still decided to go with a pass-through 3.0, so that what that means is this cable needs to go out and plug into the motherboard so that you can access the 3.0 here. Sucks. They should have put in the 3.0 header, which connects directly to the motherboard here, which, you can buy an adapter, but it's just a hassle. Anyway, 8 PCI slots, so it's a full ATX motherboard. You can fit a full ATX motherboard on there. The PSU bay right here, and also comes with another screen, dust shield or dust screen for the PSU. I take it back. It only sucks in cold air, cools down the PSU compartment, and then the hot air comes out on the back. So that's that. Anyway, let's get back to my new setup. With my new setup, so here's everything. There's some hodgepodge of everything. So I'm going to show you what I currently have, and what I will be, and what my new setup will be. So my new setup, went with MSI MPower. Okay, I am an Asus fan ever since I've been building computers, about 13, 14 years ago. My first build was a Pentium 3, and that was fun. But anyway, so I was doing a lot of research on MSI, and they've stepped up their game. You know, you have MSI, Gigabyte, ASRock, Asus motherboards, and all the other ones, the little ones. But Asus was, you know, heard so many good things about them. But MSI has stepped up their game, so that's why I went with MSI. Actually, prior to this build, I built another PC. I had the MSI Z87 gaming motherboard and the i7 3770, no K at the end. Total failure. So I returned everything. The only failure that I had was the CPU was limited in my overclocking ability or appetite. So I returned that, and good thing I returned it because they were coming out with the newer version, the 4th generation, and that is the i7 4770K. Went with the K this time. You know, spent a little bit more, about $40 more, to be able to overclock and you know, have a fast running, up to date computer, because of the work that I'm in. I do photography on the side other than my banking career. I'm a financial analyst at a regional bank. Actually, it's a community bank, and I do photography on the side. My photography business, I deal with a lot of megabytes and gigabytes, and you know, I'm into terabytes now because of the amount of photos that I take per wedding. Each image that I do is about, on average, about 26 megabytes per image because I shoot in RAW, and I take about 12 to 1,500 pictures per wedding. So you do the math and how many photos that I go through, and I render, not necessarily render, but the amount of, you know, when it goes through the post-processing, it takes a lot of time because of the information that loads up to Lightroom, and once I put in my touches on it, it takes a while. So that's why I need something fast. I needed to hold a lot of data, and just really fast on a CPU basis, and as well as a memory basis, because those two work hand in hand when you're doing video post processing or rendering or whatever, as well as photos. So you need something fast. Anyway, so back to my motherboard. I went with an MSI MPower. So this has the 787 chipset by Intel. I went with this motherboard, particularly because I wanted the ability to have Wi-Fi built in. So this has the new MSI Military Class 4 transistors and capacitors on there. The super ferrite chokes, the high C capacitors. It also has all these awesome features like the clear moss outside. You don't have to unlock you don't have to open the window. The side of the case to clear the moss. If you if you're into overclocking, which this motherboard is what it's supposed to be, just for overclocking. Test the limits of your CPU and the on and off and the reset. Direct overclocking ability, so you can just press it to press the plus or the minus. V checkpoints to check to see the voltages on your CPU, the memory, the debug LED. Has so many features. Digital all power, I don't know what that means. Enhanced BIOS. Oh, I love this because if you screw up one of the BIOS, you can switch to another one, boot up again, fix the other one, you have it back again. So you can do Sly, Crossfire, 6 SATA, SATA 3, so that's a 6 gigabyte per second. It's a newer version. USB 3.0, gaming device ports. These are so you got the PS2, the mouse or a keyboard you can go in there, and the USB. These are gold plated, so because gold conducts electricity very well, so great contact points. Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. This is awesome, built in. Super pipe, and that is supercharger. That means you can convert one of your USB, the front headers, can get constant power, and it can charge your phone or your tablet without the computer being on. Total fan control, super RAID, and all these other features. Awesome motherboard. Heard so much about the MPower version of it, so I went with this version. And now, so I wanted to talk about this also has the LAN. If you're going to use the Nik card, this has a built-in Nik card made by Killer, E22, like their chipset there, Virtua MVP, and Audio Boost, and OC Genie 4. Anyway, so all that good stuff in there. So, and I got the Toshiba SSD. It's 128 gig SSD hard drive. I know, because they're saying, oh god, Toshiba. Well, I went with the Toshiba versus the Samsung. I forgot what it was, but this one is the faster version. Same price with the Samsung, but it was a slower version of the read and write. This is about 552, read and 501 megabyte to write, so that's really fast. Currently, I have on my old setup is the H80, sold that and upgraded to the H100i. So can't wait to put that on. Also, I got rid of my EVGA, the two GTX 260s, and finally upgraded to the GeForce GTX 660 by Asus. This is the overclock edition, so this is awesome. Nice addition. And I am upgrading my mouse. I currently have the Razer Death Adder. Okay, sold this and I'm upgrading to the Corsair M65. I'm gonna do a review on this versus with the Death Adder. As you notice, everything is I'm heading Corsair. I wanted to see, kind of done with the Razer look. So I'm also upgrading my keyboard. I have the Razer Black Widow, sold this guy, and upgraded to the Corsair. Oh, this guy. The Corsair Vengeance K60. I'm going to do another review to compare this mechanical keyboard to this mechanical keyboard. This mechanical keyboard has all mechanical keyboards. They use, I believe, the blue the blue mechanical key switches on here. Makes a lot of noise, but I like it, you know. And all of them are actually mechanical keyboards. I heard that the Vengeance, the Corsair Vengeance K60s are not all mechanical keyboards, and however they use the cherry red, excuse me, mechanical switches. So I gotta figure out which ones don't have the mechanical switches. I believe it's from Escape, the function keys on top to the well, really when you're video when you're gaming, necessarily you don't use these keys anyway necessarily. So I kind of understand why they went that route, because they're not really used for gaming. But if you're going to be selling a keyboard that's mechanical, okay, you might not go all the way. That's what I say. So yeah, and I am getting rid of this heartache. This is one of the worst purchases I've ever gotten. This is the Razer StarCraft 2 version, okay, of headsets. I purchased another headset from Razer, works great, but this one in particular sucks. What a waste. This is a USB based headset, meaning this has its own, it doesn't go through the sound card, if you have a sound card, or your onboard sound card. So it goes through its own. So when I was gaming, I played a lot of Counter-Strike, Source, and Go, the Global Offensive. They always tell me that my mic is jacked up, meaning there's either static or I'm mumbling, you know, and just to turn it off. So I've had it, got rid of it, it's gone. I'm selling it. So so that's about it. So this is some of my old, some of the new. This will be gone, and this will be the new Fisheye Studios power desktop. Anyway, I'll be installing the new components in here, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.